Welcome to the lab. It is 3 in the morning. You are awake, again. Not from noise, not from pain, not from any obvious reason. Just awake, staring at the ceiling, watching the minutes tick past. And you know, the way you know your own name, that this is not something that just happens occasionally. This is your life now. For millions of adults over 60, this is not insomnia in the traditional sense. It is something more specific and more fixable, the gradual collapse of deep sleep, the stage of sleep your brain and body need most. And the reason it is happening is not that you are getting older. It is that specific, correctable things are working against you. 7 of them. And tonight, we are going to go through all 7. Before we begin, you do not need to memorize a single thing from this video. I have put together a free, step-by-step PDF cheat sheet that covers everything. The 7 tips, the breathing technique, the supplement guidance, and the morning light protocol. It is linked in the pinned comment and in the video description below. Download it now before you forget, and keep it on your phone or print it out. Before I go any further, I want to ask you something, and I genuinely mean this. When you do not get enough deep sleep, what is the first thing that suffers the next day? Is it your concentration, that foggy, cotton wool feeling where you cannot quite hold a thought? Is it your mood, an irritability or low feeling that you know is not really you? Is it your body, the aches that feel heavier, the balance that feels less reliable? Write it in the comments right now. One sentence. Because the people watching this video who are struggling with the same thing need to know they are not alone. And your answer may be exactly the reassurance they needed today. Here is what is actually happening and why it matters so much. Sleep is not one uniform state. It cycles through stages, and the most restorative of all is called slow-wave sleep, sometimes called N3 or deep sleep. During this stage, your brain produces large, slow electrical waves that trigger the release of growth hormone, consolidate memories, clear metabolic waste from brain tissue through a process called the glymphatic system, and repair the cardiovascular and immune systems. According to research published in the journal Sleep, the amount of slow-wave sleep a person gets declines by approximately 2% per decade after the age of 30. By your 60s and 70s, slow-wave sleep can be reduced by as much as 70 to 80% compared to young adulthood. This is not a minor inconvenience. It is a significant biological shift, and it is one of the main reasons cognitive decline, immune vulnerability, and metabolic dysfunction are all more common in older adults who sleep poorly. The encouraging part, and this is the entire point of this video, is that many of the factors accelerating that decline are behaviors and environment, not biology, which means they respond to intervention. Tip number 1, lower your core body temperature before bed, deliberately. Deep sleep onset is triggered by a drop in core body temperature. Your brain uses that temperature decline as the signal that it is time to shift into slow-wave sleep. As we age, this thermoregulatory signal becomes weaker. The temperature drop is less steep, and the brain takes longer to enter deep sleep stages. Research published in the journal Current Biology found that thermoregulatory dysfunction is one of the primary mechanisms behind age-related sleep deterioration. The good news is that you can compensate for it externally. 2 evidence-based techniques. First, take a warm bath or shower between 60 and 90 minutes before bed, not immediately before. The warm water draws blood to the skin surface. When you step out, that heat rapidly dissipates, causing a steep drop in core temperature that closely mimics the natural bedtime signal. A study in Sleep Medicine Reviews found that this technique accelerated sleep onset and improved slow-wave sleep depth. Second, keep your bedroom cool. The optimal sleep temperature for adults over 60 is between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 15 to 19 degrees Celsius. Use a fan, open a window, or adjust your bedding. A cool room combined with warm feet, wearing light socks to bed, helps redistribute heat from your core to your extremities, further accelerating the temperature drop your brain needs. Tip number 2, time your last meal and your last drink correctly, because both are disrupting your deep sleep in ways most people have never been told. Late eating elevates core body temperature through the process of dietary thermogenesis, the heat your body generates digesting food. It also keeps insulin elevated, which suppresses growth hormone release, and growth hormone is released almost exclusively during slow-wave sleep. Eating a large meal within 2 to 3 hours of bed effectively blunts your brain's ability to enter and sustain deep sleep. The general clinical recommendation from sleep medicine specialists is to finish your last substantial meal at least 3 hours before sleep. A small, low-glycemic snack, a small handful of walnuts, or a few crackers with a thin spread of nut butter is acceptable if genuine hunger would otherwise prevent sleep. Now, alcohol. This is one of the most misunderstood sleep topics in medicine. Many older adults rely on a glass of wine in the evening to help them fall asleep. And it does help with falling asleep. But it devastates the architecture of sleep once you are under. Alcohol suppresses rapid eye movement sleep and severely fragments slow-wave sleep in the second half of the night. This is why a night of drinking typically produces the classic pattern: fall asleep easily, wake up at 3, cannot return to sleep. If you choose to drink, finish your last drink at least 4 hours before your intended sleep time. Tip number 3, set your circadian anchor every morning with natural light. Your body's sleep-wake cycle is governed by a biological clock in the hypothalamus called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This clock uses light, specifically morning light entering through the eyes, as its primary calibration signal. When that signal is strong and consistent, the clock sets your melatonin production to begin at the right time in the evening, and your slow-wave sleep stages deepen and consolidate. When the signal is weak or absent, which it is for most older adults who spend the first hours of their day indoors under artificial light, the clock drifts. Melatonin secretion shifts later, sleep onset becomes later, and crucially, the proportion of deep sleep in the early part of the night, where most slow-wave sleep occurs, is reduced. The fix is straightforward. Within 30 minutes of waking, get outside or sit by a bright window for 10 to 20 minutes of natural light exposure. No sunglasses. Overcast days still provide sufficient lux levels to calibrate the clock. You do not need direct sunlight. A 2019 study published in the journal Current Biology found that consistent morning light exposure significantly improves sleep consolidation and reduced nighttime waking in older adults. Make it a non-negotiable part of your morning, as important as your morning cup of tea. Tip number 4, use the 4-7-8 breathing method to slow your nervous system and transition into deep sleep. One of the primary barriers to deep sleep in older adults is an overactive sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response that keeps the brain in a state of low-level alert even after the body is lying still. Cortisol, which naturally rises with age and tends to remain elevated in the evenings, keeps this alertness system engaged and suppresses the transition into slow-wave sleep. The 4-7-8 breathing technique, based on pranayama breathing and developed clinically by Dr. Andrew Weil of the University of Arizona, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest response, through deliberate regulation of the breath. Here's how to do it. Sit upright in bed or lie on your back with your arms gently at your sides. Close your eyes. Inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 7. Exhale completely through your mouth, making a soft whooshing sound for a count of 8. That is 1 cycle. Repeat for 4 full cycles. The extended exhale is the key mechanism. It activates the vagus nerve, slowing the heart rate and signaling the brain that it is safe to release alertness. Perform this at lights out. If you wake during the night, 2 cycles are typically sufficient to return to sleep. If breath holding causes any dizziness or discomfort, shorten to a 4-4-6 pattern. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. The extended exhale is the critical element, not the specific count. Tip number 5. Consider magnesium glycinate, one of the most evidence-supported supplements for improving deep sleep in older adults. Magnesium is the 4th most abundant mineral in the human body and is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions. Its role in sleep is specific and significant. Magnesium activates the GABA receptor system, the primary inhibitory neurotransmitter network that quiets brain activity and enables the transition into slow-wave sleep. It also regulates melatonin production and suppresses the activity of cortisol. According to the National Institutes of Health, up to 40 to 50% of adults over 60 are deficient in magnesium, partly because dietary intake declines, partly because aging kidneys excrete more of it, and partly because many common medications for blood pressure, diabetes, and acid reflux deplete magnesium levels. Clinical studies published in the Journal of Research in Medical Sciences and in Magnesium Research have found that magnesium supplementation in older adults with insomnia significantly improved sleep efficiency, sleep time, and early morning cortisol levels. The form matters. Magnesium glycinate, not magnesium oxide, not magnesium citrate, has the highest bioavailability and the lowest risk of digestive side effects. The clinically studied dose is typically between 200 and 400 milligrams taken 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Always consult your doctor before beginning any supplement, particularly if you take medications for blood pressure, heart rhythm, or kidney conditions. Tip number 6. Identify and address the hidden sleep thieves, starting with medications and napping. First, medications. Several of the most commonly prescribed drugs for adults over 60 directly interfere with deep sleep architecture. Beta blockers, used for high blood pressure and heart conditions, suppress melatonin secretion by up to 60% in some patients. Many diuretics, or water pills, cause nighttime urination that fragments sleep. Certain antidepressants and corticosteroids actively suppress slow-wave sleep. Some sleep aids, paradoxically, worsen deep sleep quality over time by altering neurotransmitter balance. This does not mean you should stop any medication. Never do that without your doctor's guidance. It means you should have a direct conversation with your prescribing physician and ask, could any of my current medications be affecting my sleep architecture? That one question can open a door to meaningful adjustments. Second, napping. Napping is not inherently harmful, but the timing and length make an enormous difference. The critical rule: no naps after 2 in the afternoon. Late afternoon napping reduces what sleep scientists call sleep pressure, the buildup of adenosine in the brain that makes deep sleep possible. Think of it like arriving at a restaurant when you are not hungry. You can sit down, but the experience will be poor. If you need a nap, limit it to 20 to 30 minutes before 2 p.m. Set an alarm without exception. Tip number 7. Use a brief bed-based body scan to release physical tension that blocks deep sleep. Chronic muscle tension, particularly in the shoulders, jaw, and lower back, is extremely common in older adults and is a significant but under-discussed barrier to deep sleep. Tension activates the sympathetic nervous system, keeping cortisol elevated and preventing the brain from descending into slow-wave sleep stages. This progressive body scan takes approximately 5 minutes and is performed lying on your back in bed. Lie down with your arms resting gently at your sides and your legs uncrossed. Close your eyes. Inhale slowly through your nose. As you exhale gently through your mouth, bring your attention to your feet. Consciously release any tension there. Let your toes spread slightly and your feet go completely heavy. Inhale again. On the next exhale, move your attention to your calves and shins. Release. Inhale. Exhale. Release your thighs. Continue upward. Your lower back, your abdomen, your chest. Inhale. Exhale. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. This is where most people hold the most tension. Let them fall completely. Inhale. Exhale. Unclench your jaw. Let your tongue rest softly on the floor of your mouth. Finally, inhale, and as you exhale, release your forehead, your eyes, your scalp. The entire body should now feel heavy, sinking into the mattress. Continue breathing slowly. Most people do not make it to the end before falling asleep. If any area of the body is painful, skip that region and move to the next. The goal is release, not focus on discomfort. Let me bring everything together. Deep sleep after 60 does not disappear because of age. It diminishes because of specific, correctable factors. And tonight, you have 7 tools to begin changing that. Lower your core body temperature with a warm bath 60 to 90 minutes before bed and a cool room. Finish your last meal at least 3 hours before sleep, and your last drink at least 4 hours before. Anchor your circadian clock every morning with 10 to 20 minutes of natural light within 30 minutes of waking. Use the 4-7-8 breathing technique at lights out. Consider magnesium glycinate, 200 to 400 milligrams, 30 to 60 minutes before bed, with your doctor's approval. Review your medications for hidden sleep disruptors and protect your sleep pressure by avoiding naps after 2 p.m. And use the 5-minute body scan to release the tension your nervous system has been carrying all day. The free PDF cheat sheet with all 7 tips, the breathing guide, and the morning light protocol is in the pinned comment and the video description below. Download it, keep it, use it tonight. If this video helped you, please subscribe. New evidence-based guidance for healthy aging every single week. Stay strong, stay safe.